Welcome to my channel when it comes to cars or owning a car in Hong Kong. There's two main concerns we Hong Kongers have: parking and fuel costs. Well, we can't do much about parking costs since we all know Hong Kong is a very small city and the price of lands are super expensive. But there are options for fuel cost saving or performance improvements on regular cars. Well, there are other options like hybrid cars to save fuel consumptions or a fully electric car. But not all of us can afford such cars. Now let's take as an example of a $40,000 car. It seems like the fuel consumption is a lot or the performance is lagging. Well, over the years, there are many other software updates and modifications available to make your car perform better and improve fuel consumption. Every car has a computer which is called Engine Computer Unit ECU. ECU is the most important part in a car. It controls everything on a car: how to drive, how much fuel it requires to burn to move the car, and every other part. In this ECU, there's a software from the factory. Fortunately, with technology growing rapidly and many developers around the world have cracked an option called remap or tuning. Wonder what is tuning or remapping? Basically, it means modifying the software inside the ECU to improve the fuel consumption or performance. But how does it work? So people who do this are called tuners. So what are the process and how long does it take? The process goes by first identifying which car are we going to work on. Every manufacturer has different ECU and softwares. But the most common ECU brand used on cars is called Bosch Mead ECU. So first we identify the vehicle model and the ECU used in that car. After that, before even touching the ECU, it's a must to have a preliminary engine condition check before even modifying the software. After going through the preliminary engine condition check, it's a good practice to ask the car owner when was the spark plugs changed on the car. You may ask why. Because spark plug spits gas into engine cylinders to burn the gas and move the car. So why it's important to know when was it replaced? If it's too old. The spark plug's nozzle can spit the gas to lean or rich to the cylinder, which can cause the car to misfire once all these are done. The first step is to connect the laptop with the ECU via OB2 port, or in some cars removing the ECU and pinpoint the pins to read the original file out of the ECU, once the original file is read into the laptop. The next step is uploading the original file into the portal where tuner or yourself, if you know how to modify the file, can start tuning the file however you want within the safe parameters. Once the modifying software part is over, now we can write the modified file. Once the new file is written inside the ECU, now it's time to test the car and do a log to see the measurements if the car is performing correctly as it needs to be. If fine-tune is required, can redo the same process again and write again until the logs are all normal. After testing the car with new modified file, it's time to test drive the car on flat road and hills road to see if all the parameters are normal.